I took the night shift at the Pineview Motor Inn because I needed the money. That's really all there is to it. My day job at the distribution center had cut everyone's hours back in September, and my daughter's orthodontist doesn't take payment plans. So when they posted the overnight desk position, I applied that same afternoon. The owner, Mr. Garrett, seemed relieved someone actually wanted it. He's this older guy, maybe 70, who bought the place back in the 80s when the highways still brought people through. Now it's mostly long-term stays, construction workers, people between apartments, that sort of thing. The building's a 2-story horseshoe shape with the office at the closed end. 32 rooms total, usually about half full.
Mr. Garrett trained me for 2 nights, showed me how to run the audit reports, how to handle late check-ins, where the cleaning supplies were if someone had an incident. Standard stuff. On the 3rd night, he handed me the keys and said he'd be back at 6 a.m. "You'll be fine," he said. "Quiet as a church most nights." He wasn't wrong. That first week alone, I think I saw maybe 4 people total between midnight and dawn. Mostly I sat behind the desk, drank coffee, watched whatever was on TV with the sound low. The hardest part was staying awake. The front desk sits in this small office with a window that looks out over the parking lot. There's a door to my left that goes into the back, Mr. Garrett's office, storage room, the laundry area. And there's the front entrance, obviously, with the glass doors that face the parking lot and Route 34 beyond it. Around 2:30 or 3 every night, I'd do a walkthrough, check that all the hallway doors were locked, make sure nobody left their car running, that kind of thing. Mr. Garrett said it wasn't required, but it gave me something to do, and honestly, it helped me stay awake. After about 2 weeks, I started to notice the pattern with room 14. It wasn't anything dramatic, just every night during my rounds, right around 3 a.m., I'd hear the TV through the door. Not loud, just that muffled sound of voices and laugh tracks. I figured whoever was staying there had trouble sleeping, same as me. Lots of people leave the TV on all night. But then one night, I was updating the guest log. We still keep a physical one. Mr. Garrett's old school about that. And I realized room 14 had been empty for 5 days. I checked the computer, no reservation, no checkout record, just marked vacant. I stood there looking at that screen for a while. Then I told myself I was tired, that I'd probably heard the TV from room 13 or 15. Sound travels weird in these old buildings. I finished my coffee and didn't think about it again. Except the next night, I heard it again. Same time, same room. That low murmur of television voices. This time, I stopped outside the door. The sound was definitely coming from inside room 14. I could even tell it was one of those old sitcoms, the kind with the exaggerated laugh track every 10 seconds. I put my hand on the door. It was cold. Everything else was too. It was February, but this felt different, like the cold was coming from inside. I didn't open it. We had a rule, Mr. Garrett's rule, really, but it made sense. Never enter a room during night shift unless there's an emergency. If something's wrong, you call him or you call the police. You don't investigate alone. So I just stood there listening until the sound stopped. Not like someone turned it off with a remote. It just stopped, mid-laugh track. I finished my rounds faster than usual that night. The thing is, after that, I started noticing other small things, like how the ice machine at the far end of the 2nd floor would kick on at exactly 3:17 every single night, or how the light above room 8 would flicker 3 times, then stay steady. You know how it is when you work the same shift in the same place, you start to notice patterns. Most of them don't mean anything. But room 14 bothered me. I mentioned it to Mr. Garrett one morning when he came in, casual, like it was funny. "Hey, the TV in 14 keeps turning on at night. Might be an electrical thing." He looked at me for a second, then nodded. "I'll have someone check it out." He didn't, though. Or if he did, he didn't mention it, and the TV kept turning on. 3 weeks into the job, a woman checked in around 1 a.m. She had 2 kids with her, both under 10, both half asleep. She paid cash for 3 nights and asked which room was farthest from the road because her kids were light sleepers. I gave her room 28, second floor, back corner, quietest spot in the building. She thanked me and herded the kids toward the stairs. I watched them go up, watched the door to 28 open and close, watched the lights come on behind the curtain. Then I sat back down and tried to focus on the television in the office. At 3:02 a.m., the phone at the desk rang. Night calls weren't unusual. Usually someone needing extra towels or asking about checkout time. I picked it up on the second ring. "Front desk?" Nothing. Just that empty sound of an open line. "Hello? Front desk, can I help you?" Still nothing. But I could hear something in the background, faint. It took me a second to place it. A TV, playing a sitcom, laugh track and all. I hung up. Then I checked the call log on the display. It said the call came from room 14. My heart was going pretty good by then, but I told myself to calm down. Old phone system, lines get crossed, maybe the wiring's bad. I'd mention it to Mr. Garrett in the morning, along with the TV thing. I did not want to do a walkthrough that night. I actually considered skipping it, just staying behind the desk until sunrise, letting whatever was happening in room 14 stay there. But I kept thinking about that woman and her kids in room 28. If something was actually wrong, a real problem, not me being paranoid, I needed to make sure they were safe. So at 3:15, I grabbed the flashlight from under the desk and headed out. The first floor was fine. Every door shut, every window dark, everything normal. I checked the back exit, made sure it was locked. Then I went upstairs. The second floor hallway runs the length of the building, doors on both sides. There's one light in the middle that barely works, so most of the hallway sits in this dim orange glow. My footsteps sounded too loud on the concrete walkway. I checked room 28 first. The curtains were drawn. The car was still in the spot outside. Everything looked fine. Then I walked toward the other end, toward room 14. The closer I got, the colder it felt. I'm not talking about a draft or anything I could point to, just cold, the kind that gets into your bones. And I could hear it again, the TV, clearer now. I could even make out words, some comedian doing a bit about grocery stores, audience laughing on cue. I stopped about 10 feet away from the door. Here's what I remember thinking. If I walk away right now, nothing changes. I finish the shift, I tell Mr. Garrett in the morning, I let him deal with it. That's the smart move. That's the safe move. But I didn't walk away. I moved closer to the door, and as I did, the sound from the TV got quieter. Not like it was turning down, like it was moving away, deeper into the room. I was standing right in front of the door now. I reached for my keys, then I stopped. Because I realized something. I'd been hearing the TV through the door for weeks now, but room 14 doesn't face the parking lot. It faces the interior courtyard, and from where I was standing, I could see through the window that looks into room 14. The curtains were open. The room was completely empty. No furniture, no bed, no TV, no dresser, just bare walls and old carpet. The room had been under renovation. Mr. Garrett had mentioned it my first week. Everything had been moved out over a month ago. But I could still hear the TV. I backed away from the door. The sound didn't follow me. It stayed in that room, that empty room, playing to nobody. I didn't run. I just walked, quickly, back down the hallway, down the stairs, into the office. I sat at the desk and I didn't move until Mr. Garrett showed up at 6. When he asked how the night went, I told him it was fine, quiet. I didn't mention room 14, and I didn't ask him about it either.
I worked there another 2 months. I still needed the money, but I stopped doing walkthroughs. I stayed behind the desk, kept the door to the back office locked, kept the TV on to cover any other sounds. The phone from room 14 rang 4 more times. I never answered it. On my last night, I'd found a better job finally. I broke my own rule. I don't know why. Maybe I needed to know. Maybe I thought it would give me some kind of closure. At 3 a.m., I walked up to the 2nd floor. I went to room 14. I used my master key, and I opened the door. The room was still empty. No furniture, no TV, just bare walls. But the television sound was so loud I had to cover my ears. And on the carpet, in the center of the empty room, there was a perfect rectangle of compressed fibers, like something heavy had been sitting there for years.
I checked the log when I got back to the desk. I don't know why I did that either. I guess I just needed to see it written down. Room 14 had last been occupied 8 years ago. Guest name? Michael Garrett, Mr. Garrett's son, the one he never talks about. I left my keys on the desk that morning and I didn't go back. Sometimes, late at night when I can't sleep, I think about that room, about the sound that wouldn't stop, about how cold it was. And I think about that compressed rectangle in the carpet, like someone had been sitting there, watching something, for a very long time. If you'd been in my position, would you have opened that door?